Guys, this is Jason Jom again, and welcome to the second episode, second part of this series. In this series, what we're going to discuss is in the previous series. Let us try to check it out. If you didn't check out the previous video, just check it out. Make sure that you watch it. And what I talked in the previous video is initially the basics of deep learning, like why deep learning is used and how it is useful in solving informal tasks. Now what we're going to do is initially we're just going to look at linear algebra, vectors and matrices and tensors, all of this kind of stuff. And we're also going to talk about matrix multiplication, matrix inverse, images as tensors, how images can be converted as tensors, and why tensors are most useful. Because I'm going to focus on computer vision mostly, guys, because I'm good in computer, like I'm interested in computer vision. So I'm going to take deep learning as a like in the perspective of computer vision, and we are going to talk about dot product. Okay. Let us continue, guys. So why linear algebra? Most of you guys can think about this thing. Why linear algebra? Let me, this cap is just, guys, I don't know about the results, like how my first video did how it rocked the YouTube. I don't know about that. It is just a same time recording this video again, guys. Okay, why linear algebra? Most of you guys can ask about it, right? Why we are using linear algebra? It is very simple, guys. Let us try to understand vectors, matrices and tensors, then you will understand why we are using so let us try to answer about vectors, guys. I'll try to answer about vectors. Like when we consider a vector is a collection of similar values, guys. Vector is a collection of similar values. So if you kind of assume like this, let us consider x1, x2, x3, x4. So it is known as a vector. Okay, a vector can also be in the horizontal form also, there is no problem in that. But mostly what we are in this particular perspective, what we are saying is arranging vectors side by side will become a matrix. So what we are going to do is initially we are just going to arrange a vector in a vertical type of thing. Okay, so this is known as a vector. What is a vector? A vector is just a single row or a single column. Let's assume like that, and it's having only one dimensionality. It will have either like a width or a height. It will expand in only one dimension, and it's having some unique set of values, guys. Okay, so now we are going to look at the matrix. What is known as a matrix? And it is just expanding its values only in one direction. Okay, so what is known as a matrix? A matrix is a collection of rows and columns. Like a matrix will have values like this: x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7, x8, x9, x10, x11, x12. Okay, so let's consider these things are known as a rows, and these things are known as a columns. So what we are going to do is initially here this matrix is having a two-dimension, guys, two-dimensional matrix. Why we are calling it two-dimensional? Because it is having a width and it is also having a height, so it will be expanding in the two dimension. Like when I am pointing some kind, like it is expanding in the two dimensions and is expanding only in one dimension vector. It is just why, because it's expanding because when we try to represent a matrix, we are representing in this format, right? Like it's like a rectangle thing, and it's having a width and it's also having a height. And when we are representing a vector, we can represent either by a horizontal line or a vertical line, and where the width is very negligible, so we're just going to consider height only, so it will expand only in one direction. But here it will expand in like two dimension. That is what a matrix is, guys. Matrix is a like a quantity in which it has an expansion in two dimension. Most of you guys think like, what is it related to? Why you are teaching 12th mathematics or something like that? Just keep up with me and I will tell you why it is related to deep learning, guys. So oh my god, this wait, guys, just okay, welcome, guys. Oh, what the hell, bro? Shit, the rats. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to talk about tensors, guys. So this is one of the most important concepts. We're going to talk about tensors. So why tensors are very important? Tensors are multi-dimensional, guys. So what is meaning of multi-dimensional? Not a problem. So what is the meaning of multi-dimensional? Let us assume like this. So let us consider we have a matrix, and it's having a width, and it's also having a height, right? Wait, guys, it's having a width and it is also having an height, right, guys? Yeah. So what we are going to do is in tensors, it's having multi-dimensional, so we are having another matrix here, and we are having another matrix here. Like let us try to assume here. So initially there will be a width and height, and it will be backed by some channels here, guys. So it will be something like this, guys. Okay, so here what we are going to say here is, here this one is having a, it was, this is one matrix, and if you just slice it here, and there will be another matrix here, and there will be another matrix here, and there will be another matrix. It's like arranging these matrices in a group wise, guys. So that's what this means. So it's having also having some in z axis. This is expansion z. Let us assume if it's origin, then this particular thing is known as the channels, guys. These things are known as the channels. So like this is going to be width, and this is going to be height. Oh, sorry. So this is going to be width, and this is known as a number of channels, guys, like number of matrices that aligned behind each other. That is known as a number of channels. Why number of channels is important? That is why tensors are different. Like when we consider about vectors, they are having one dimensional, and when we consider about matrices, they are having two dimensional, guys. And when we consider about tensors, we cannot say three dimensional, they are more than two dimensional. So what are the examples of tensors, and why we need tensors in the deep learning? If you know a little knowledge about PyTorch, then tensor is the most important part, guys. Okay, we will look into it. So why we are calling some tensor type of stuff? Image is a main portion, like it's a input, right, in computer vision. An image is let's say color image, right? Color image is having three channels, guys. If it's having three channels, that means there will be an image like this, and there will be an image like this, and there will be an image like this. It's having a channel R, G, B, three channels, guys. So what we can call an image, we can call it tensor. So if anyone asks you what is the mathematical terms of an image, something like that, then we can say like it's a tensor. So what in deep learning, what we are going to do is, initially we are just going to convert those three channel image. When you are manipulating, we can manipulate it to 25 channels and 36 channels, is all kind of stuff. So why linear algebra is very important? Because we just need to know what is tensor. A tensor is just like a multi-dimensional array, guys. It's just having something like this. Yep. So it will be a matrix, and behind it there will be another matrix, behind it there will be other matrix, and so on. There will be endless, and in not endless, so there will be a definite number, and that number is equal number of channels. Okay, let us come to the topic here, guys. So I completed vectors, right? Single dimensional, two dimensional, and three dimensional. Great. So oh my god, there is a lag, some lag here. Okay, so first we have to look about matrix multiplication. So let us try to look into matrix multiplication, and if you guys know about matrix multiplication, then it is good and fine, you can just skip this part. So let's try to complete about matrix multiplication, guys. Let us try to assume two vectors here, a b c d e f g h I, and there will be other matrix a b c d e f g h I. So one of the main condition I'm going to tell you is, let us consider the number of rows as m, and let us consider the number of columns as n, guys. So we'll denote m cross n of the shape of this particular matrix, and here the number of rows are like m, and let us number of rows are like n, let us say like that, and number of columns is like k, so n cross k. So for a condition, like if the two matrices should multiply each other, the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to number of rows in the second matrix. So n should be equal to n, right? Let us say it's a cross b, and let us say it's c cross d. If b double equal to c, then only a matrix multiplication will take place, otherwise it will never take place, guys. So what will be the result of this matrix multiplication? Okay, this row will try to combine with this row, and it will try to form a value here. Okay, so a into a square plus bd, so it will be something like that, guys. Let us try to assume with the simple numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Wait, oh my god, it is becoming too hard for me to catch the camera and to hold it, not catch it. Sorry, vocabulary mistake, man. Okay, 1 into 1 1 plus 2 into 4, 4 2s are 8, plus 7 3 is 21, which is 8 plus 21, which is 29, plus 1, which is like 30. Let's see 29 here. So now after completing this entire row with this entire column, and we have to go to the second column. First row with the second column will give this value, and first row with the third column will give this value. That's why, that is it. And second row with the first column will give this value, and second row with the second column give this value, second row with the third column will give this value. And in the same way we are just going to perform this matrix multiplication, guys. This is what matrix multiplication is, and you guys can also remember this condition also, right? So what happened is initially there is a machine in deep learning, like we will have an image as an input, right? This image will be multiplied by some weights. Okay, let us assume weights as some kind of variables. Okay, there are also some kind of tensors. Okay, let us assume, think about it them like that. Okay, these are also some tensors, our input which is image, and we are going to multiply them with some weights. So in this particular process we need to know about matrix multiplication, guys, because matrix multiplication will be taken care when we are multiplying them with some weights, right? And these weights may be having more channels in the image, we don't care about them, but we essentially care that both of them satisfy this condition, m cross n, a cross b, comma c cross d, where b double equal to c, then only matrix multiplication will take place. So here also in the same way, when we are multiplying these weights with this one, we just need to know about how it works, right? Because sometimes there will be an error in PyTorch, like invalid shape, expected something, and actual something like that. You just need to know these basics, guys. That's why I taught you about these basics. And we also completed matrix multiplication, right? So next what we're going to do is images tensor. So I already explained to you, images are having 3 channel images, which is known as a RGB, and there will be gray images, which is, I think it is having only one channel. These are having one channel, but internally it is represented as 28. Let us say image is having size 28, so 28 comma 28 comma 1, it is internally represented in this format. It will never be represented 28 comma 28, it will be represented by 28 comma 28 comma 1. Okay, because it will be more feasible and more suitable for performing operations. Even if it's 28 comma 28, we have so many functions right here, right? So okay, image set sentence is also completed. And dot product, guys, this is one of the most important thing. Okay, why dot product? Like when you are using kernel operations and convolution operations, dot product is important. When I am saying these kind of things like kernel operations, don't worry about it, we are going to talk about, just think them like some kind of black box operations. Okay, just try to understand these concepts, just that's it. You guys did well today in my class. Yeah, if there is any. Yep, there is. So what is dot product? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is a matrix, guys, and this is a matrix. So what we're going to do is, in dot product we are just going to multiply these elements correspondingly, like 1 into 1 1, 2 2s are 4, 3 3s are 9, 4 4s are 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. This is the dot product, guys. I hope you understand it. 1 1 1 2 2. We are just multiplying respective elements, and we of course know the condition. We of course know this condition, like what is the condition? The condition is that the sizes of both the matrices should be equal, otherwise the dot product will not take place. There is an exception to this, guys. So what is that exception? Then we will get to another concept known as vectorization, guys. Just hold it with me. I will going to complete class. You can go to your home. Okay, do some homework. I'm just kidding, I will never give homework to you guys. Okay, so what is vectorization? That's what you really want to know, right? So vectorization is one of the important topic. Without this one, deep learning networks are very slow, guys. So why they are very slow? Let us try to multiply a matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right, with a dot product with a matrix 1 2 3. Do you think this operation will have a valid result or an invalid result, or will like some kind of compile error? Let us see. Like in Python, this will work correctly. Why it will work? Because there is an operation known as broadcasting, guys. Broadcasting. So what is a broadcasting? Like when we are multiplying, when we are performing some kind of operation, what does Python do is Python tries to display 1 2 3 along these other 2 rows also. Make sure that the operation gets executed, and this operation, like spreading and widening of the copying of the same values again and again, this is known as a broadcast. There is a library known as NumPy, and NumPy is mostly based on vectorization, guys. Like what is this kind of operation? Let us say like that. So let us suppose there is a matrix multiplication, right? Matrix multiplication. Let us say we have write a C program. Then for matrix multiplication in C program, we have to write, I think, 3 for loops. I think so. I don't know about that. One is for manipulating I, other J and K. I think so. So 3 for loops, right? Matrix multiplication in C program, we have to 3 for loops. Let's say the size n, then the time complex will be n cube. But in NumPy, we have to just write only one single line. There will be an internal operation np.matmul, I think so. I don't know about this thing. I will always look at the snippets of code most of the time. So np.matmul, something like that. What it will do is it will try to use the operations of vectorization, and it will try to perform the operation so fast, so fast. So wait, let me just wait, guys. I'll try to look into the notes how vectorization works. I think mostly this is the reason for the vectorization. I'll just look into the notes. Wait, guys. So vectorization is some kind of operation which we can do without using explicit for loop, guys. And in NumPy uses mostly vectorization. That's what it is, very fast. If you believe that no, vectorization is just an implementation of for loops, you can just try it out. I took a course, and that course he demonstrated it, and vectorization is very fast, guys. So that is why most people are using NumPy in their libraries, because it is using vectorization and it is very fast. So today we discussed most of the things, guys. Today we discussed like linear algebra, or matrices, vectors, tensors, matrix multiplication, matrix inverse, and oh shit, we didn't know about matrix inverse. Images, tensor, dot product. Okay, let me just quickly wrap it up, guys. What is the inverse of 5? Let us consider an integer 5. What is the inverse of 5? 1 by 5. In the same way, let us consider a matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what will be the inverse of A? 1 by A. But we cannot calculate 1 by something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why? Because it's a matrix and we cannot divide it by 1, right? So there is a formula, guys. So what is it formula? I think it will be 1. If it is wrong, just comment in the comment box, guys. So A inverse is equal to, I think, A by det A. I think so, guys. More A by det A, I think so. Wait, let me just clarify this one. But my network is not very good today. So I think A inverse, and in most of the cases we don't even use these kind of things directly, because it is already implemented by PyTorch library. You just need to know like what are the functions and what they are doing. That's it, guys, and that will make your day in deep learning. And today we completed linear algebra, and in the next video I think we can complete calculus portion and how it is useful for deep learning. I'm just saying, if you're not good at maths, if you just understood this concept and you don't want to go deep, that's okay, guys, because all of these topics are already pre-implemented in PyTorch. So I think you don't need to worry about anything, guys, and I'm also not way too good in maths.